41, 17 to 18. Okay?
Okay. Can we both agree that the word which appears here, geglumena, you can look it over, can we both agree that this word means carved, and of course is describing carved statues?
I'm sorry, I looked away and I came right back. Which verse was it?
Ezekiel 41, 17 to 18, and the Greek word geglumena. Can we both agree that this word means carved? It's really just a straightforward question. Can we agree that this word means carved and it is describing carved statues?
Well, I mean, I don't see why I don't have a problem with that right offhand.
Okay. That was just a simple, straightforward question. My next question will be another simple question. Turretinfan, not long back, my friend Dave Armstrong posted comments regarding pictures that your friend Mr. White put up on his blog, showing enormous statues of various reformers. I'm pretty sure you know which one I'm talking about. Let me ask you a simple, straightforward question. Let me ask you first. You are aware of which one I'm talking about, right?
I believe you're talking about this massive statues that are in Geneva of some of the reformers.
Correct. Okay.
They're kind of base relief images.
Yes.
I don't know if they're considered statues, but anyway, I got the.
Okay, this will bring me to my next question. Let's say across the street there was a ginormous wall, containing the exact same thing, but of statues, but these are of Christ, his mother Mary, and Joseph. Would that be acceptable?
No.
Okay, so let me get this correct. Statues of mere men are acceptable to be put, but if we were to put a picture of, let's just say, Mary and Joseph, that would not be acceptable.
Well, we're getting a little bit off the topic of venerating images here and into the topic of simply making the images. But so it's sort of one question about whether someone would venerate those reformers on the wall there, or whether someone just making the images of them, and on the other side about whether it's proper to make an image of Jesus Christ, or whether it's only wrong to worship the image. That separate debate.
Okay, I guess I really just wanted to see if you would consider it a sin, and I didn't really mean to get off topic, so you can just dismiss that question if you want.
Oh yes, well, I mean, my position is that it's also wrong to make images of God.
Okay,
it's not
great.
Wrong to make images of things that are not God, but that's not what we're debating today.
Correct. Okay, I guess I should have rephrased that, but I got your answer correctly, so that's perfect. I'll move on to my next question. Turretinfan, I find it particularly interesting that, I still do, that you say that Dura Europas was not a typical example of an early Christian church. So, my next question moves on to Basil the Great. I wonder, how can you defend such a stance when Basil tells us that all the churches had images within them? Wouldn't that then make the images found within Dura Europas seem much more common than your statements seem to make them?
Well, what years did Basil say that? That's sort of the question, right?
Right. I'm not certain of the exact year. I can pull that up in just a moment if you want. But, of course, Basil, as you're aware of, was one of the great Cappadocian fathers. It isn't as if this is 200, 300, or even 400 years away from where this church is dated to. So I guess let's just say that if it's 100 years after the dating of the Dura Europas church, would you say that during a 100-year period that Christianity evolved so much that all the churches contain images within them, and it is not logical to assume that they had images 100 years before?
Well, I'm not really willing to start from the sort of presupposition that Basil said that all the churches throughout the world, or even all the churches in the Cappadocian region, had pictures in the churches. Now, we're not talking about veneration of them, but even just having the pictures in the churches. I'm not willing to just kind of take that as granted without actually seeing the evidence that he said it. Where did he say it? When did he say it? What book was it? Is it an authentic work? Is it an inauthentic work? This kind of question. But even if we take that position. What his testimony tells us about is what the situation was like at his time, not what it was like 200 years before him or 100 years before him.
Okay. I understand your answer. That'll bring me to my final question, and my time is almost running up, so you can go ahead and take as long as you need to answer it. If you go over a little bit, that's fine. Turretinfan, in light of the fact that Goodenough, as well as numerous textual experts, have shown, I believe, definitively that the Septuagint was illuminated probably around 200 years BC, how can you contend that image usage and veneration amongst the early church was non-existent?
I don't recall in any of the points that I raised saying that there was non-existence either of image usage or of image veneration. But what I think when you presented your Europaus, I believe I answered that I didn't think it was typical. And of course, my reference to the veneration of images is distinct from just the making of images. And so I'm not sure why you would conclude that the existence of illuminated manuscripts, for which we have no evidence there was any veneration, is somehow, contradictory to anything I said.
Okay, that'll conclude my cross-examination. Thank you, Turretinfan.